Word problems. Yeah. What's up, guys? It's your 4th grade math teacher, Mr. Johnson, aka Mr. J, and we're back at it again with another YouTube video. So if we were in class right now, this is the time of the year where we'll be reviewing everything that we've learned so far. The great thing about math is that a lot of things repeat or build on top of each other. For example, when you were little, you learned how to count. Then after you learned how to count, you learned how to add. Then after adding, you learned how to subtract, and then came multiplication and division. So in a sense, math is like a game where you can't move on to the next level without mastering the skills from the level before. This brings us to word problems, which is the one thing that every kid has to deal with in math. When I was a kid, I hated word problems. While I was always good at math, I had a huge weakness in reading, and I would get stumped on word problems. Actually, I still remember doing word problems as homework when I was a kid with my mom. If Susie has 3 apples and she eats 1 apple, how many apples do she have left? 4? D-Drac! If Susie has 3 apples and she eats 1 apple, how many apples does she have? So yeah, I feel your pain. However, word problems actually get easier the more you practice them. You have to think of them as math puzzles or math riddles, and once you start to pick up on their patterns, the easier they start to get. So in this video, we're going to review about word problems so that you're able to walk into this week as a
Mr. Johnson! Mr. Johnson!
Oh no. Oh god, no.
Mr. Johnson! Mr. Johnson! I don't feel like doing word problems. They hard.
Yeah, they can be, but like I said earlier, if you practice them, you're able to.
And you gotta do all that reading. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Wait, hold up. It's not a lot of reading. Most of those word problems be like 2 sentences long.
Mr. Johnson! Mr. Johnson! Who in math decided to make word problems? Because they must have been real bored.
Well, I think word problems can actually be pretty fun to solve.
Mr. Johnson, listen here. If you like word problems so much, then why don't you solve them yourself? Because you're stressing me out. How? You missed.
Anyways, guys, let's get to the video. Go get a pencil and paper, get comfortable, grab a snack, and let's make it do what it do. Woo. Word problems are one of the greatest challenges when it comes to math, but they are also very important because they deal with real-life situations that involve math. The key to solving word problems is understanding your 4 operations and connecting them to what's happening in the word problem. So let's talk about the 4 operations. There are 4 operations that you use in math.
Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division.
Long ago, the 4
Operations.
lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the
Word problems.
attacked. Only the
Mathematician.
master of all 4
Operations.
could stop them. But when the world needed
Mr. Johnson's
him most,
students.
he vanished.
Now, it's not that serious when it comes to math, but the 4 operations can be used in any way on the word problem, and it's your job to connect the operation to the text. Let's go over what each operation does. Addition is used to combine numbers or make them bigger. If you notice your number is getting bigger or the character is gaining more to their number, then the operation of addition is being used. Subtraction is used to decrease a number or to show a loss in value. It is also used when parts are missing or removed from a whole in the story. Multiplication is used when a number repeats itself. Multiplication can be tricky to spot because many word problems will not flat out say that the number is repeating. Instead, you will have to make an inference or use the text for clues. Examples of multiplication in word problems are sentences such as, "Every day Goku eats 4 donuts." In this sentence, it does not say 4 repeats itself. However, I have to make the connection that if he eats 4 donuts every day, then on Monday he will eat 4 donuts, Tuesday 4 donuts, Wednesday, 4 donuts, and so on and so on. Therefore, the number 4 is repeating and multiplication is happening. I would multiply 4 by however many days he ate donuts. Last but not least is division. Division is used when a number is being shared or split equally. It also deals with how many times a number goes into another number. Look, I know that sounds confusing, so here's an example. If I have 10 apples and 2 baskets, how many apples can go into each basket equally? The answer would be 5. Therefore, the number 2 can go into 10 5 times, or another way of looking at this is the 2 baskets can share the 10 apples by getting 5 each. One strategy to use for a word problem is to understand the total. The total is the amount you have in all. Many word problems will either give you the total or hide the total from you. If the total is not given, then you will probably need to add or multiply, because addition and multiplication are used to get your total amount. For example, when you go to the store, and if you're like me and use the self-checkout, you will see that as you scan each item, the price of each item is added up to give you a total at the end. And if you're also like me, you start to complain about the total, like, why am I spending $5 for some great value forks? There ain't nothing great about this value. Anyways, addition and multiplication is used to solve for a total or what you have in all. If a word problem gives you the total, then you are probably dealing with subtraction or division. Subtraction and division decrease numbers or deals with missing parts of a whole. If we go back to my example about the 10 apples in the 2 baskets, the total of 10 was already given to you. In other words, you had 10 apples in all, and you shared them equally with 2 baskets. One thing to remember about the total is that if the total is given, no number should ever be bigger than it, because once again, the total is the amount you have in all. No number is ever bigger than your total in the word problem. This is a huge clue to knowing that you should divide or subtract, because both of these operations deal with making numbers smaller. So to recap, when the total is missing, add or multiply, but when you are given the total, divide or subtract. Now that we know about our operations and what the total is, let's talk about keywords, and in particular, one keyword, and that word is the word more. Many students, including myself when I was younger, sometimes rely too much on keywords. And many math teachers know this and will often use keywords against you. One of the trickiest keywords is the word more. Many students usually think more means to add, but depending on the situation, it can also mean to subtract. Let's look at 2 word problems. Sonic the Hedgehog had 5 rings. Will Smith... Anyways, Will Smith gave him 3 more rings. How many rings does Sonic have in all? In this problem, the word more is being used to show that the character is increasing the number. I also should notice that they're asking me about the rings in all, which means I need to find a total. Therefore, this is a problem that involves adding. But look at this problem. Sonic the Hedgehog has 5 rings. He has 3 more rings than Will Smith. How many rings does Will Smith have? This problem uses the word more, but this is a subtraction problem. The total of 5 has been given, and you are given a part of your total, which in this case is 3. Because no number is bigger than your total, you will need to subtract 5 and 3 to get the rings that Will Smith has, which is 2. By the way, this is also a comparison problem in which you're trying to find the difference between 2 numbers, but we'll save that for another video, okay? The point is that you cannot rely on keywords to solve word problems. Instead, you have to connect the text to the math and choose your operation based off of what makes sense. With that being said, let's practice solving a word problem. Like I said earlier, even though word problems are challenging, They are actually very important because they involve real life situations in which we need to use math. So I'm actually going to use a real life example for the word problem that we're going to solve. When we solve word problems, we want to do three things: read to understand, read to make a connection, and then read to mark our strategies. So here we go. Mr. Johnson had a goal of exercising for 400 minutes. He exercised for 27 minutes every day for 4 days. How many more minutes does he need to reach his goal? So I just read the problem. Now I need to read to make a connection. What that means is that I need to visualize the story that is actually going on. There are many ways to do this. We can draw or act out the story, or we can use our imagination. And for this problem, we're actually going to use our imagination. So let's flash back to how my week of exercising went. Let's see.
Alright, kid, so you wanna get tough. So you wanna get the muscles. You wanna get the six-pack abs. Well, let me tell you something, kid. You're gonna have to work hard at it. You're gonna have to exercise. You're gonna have to get there every single day and pump those gains. You gotta make gains, kids. You gotta make gains, kid. You gotta make gains.
The third thing I need to do is read to mark my strategies. First, I want to mark my numbers and what they represent. 400 minutes is my total minutes, and then I need to mark 27 minutes every day for 4 days. Lastly, the most important part of a question is what they ask you at the end. And this question is asking us to find how many more minutes did I need to reach my goal. Because I am given a total, I know that I would need to subtract at some point, but before I do that, let me look at the other sentence I marked. The problem says that I exercise 27 minutes every day for 4 days. From this sentence, I need to connect the text to the math. If I worked out 27 minutes every day, then I should notice that the number 27 is repeating. Since 27 is repeating, I would need to multiply 27 by 4 to get the minutes for the 4 days. 27 times 4 is 108. So in 4 days, I worked out 108 minutes, which means I did not reach my goal of 400. Let's remember that my job in this problem is to figure out how many more minutes I would need. If I said the answer is 108, I would be incorrect because 108 represents the minutes for the 4 days, not how much I need to get my goal. Let's also remember that 400 is my goal, which means it is also my total. And since I'm given my total, I would need to subtract to get the difference. When I subtract 108 from 400, I get 292. So 292 would be the minutes I would need to reach my goal. Well, that about sums up this video. I hope you have a better understanding of how to solve word problems, but if you're still confused, comment below, let me know, or message me on Class Dojo. Can you believe it's already been 4 weeks? Despite quarantining, time is actually flying by. Stay on your lessons, guys. You guys have been doing an amazing job. I miss you all so much, and I hope to see you in the Zoom lessons this week. So stay safe, guys. Wash your hands and keep those math skills sharp. Until next time, guys.
So Mr. Johnson wants to teach his students math. What a foolish teacher. It appears it is time to crush him and his students in all things mathematics. Excuse me. Allergies.
You gotta make gains.